Hi everyone, welcome. It's me, Lori Lytle, Inner Goddess Tarot. So welcome to lesson 12 of my Intro to Tarot series. And this is the last video in our series. I can't believe it. But as you know by now, learning tarot is a lifelong, joyful, lifelong process. So I'll still continue to make videos on different topics and some intermediate videos, all that good stuff. And I encourage you to keep learning, keep practicing way beyond watching this video. But I hope these videos have given you a little bit of a kickstart or a way to start playing with your cards and really getting to know them and working with them. So let's get back on topic. So today, lesson 12, we're looking at tarot reversals. So working with reversed cards, cards that come up in a reading upside down or reversed, right? So opinions in the tarot world are really split on this. Some readers don't use reversals, some do. Some use them sometimes and not other times. So really, as with a lot of things in tarot, I think anything goes. Find what works for you. And when you're first learning, you may think, oh, reversals, how the heck can I integrate these into my readings? It's too confusing. So try it out, see how it works for you, and you may think, no, it's not for me, or it's not for me at this time, and revisit it later. But let's talk a little bit about how you might approach it. So first of all, I don't always use reversals because I feel like the cards themselves upright have such a range of meaning right within the upright image itself. For example, we have the sun, right, which I was just showing there. So the sun is such a wonderful, joyful card, freedom and warmth and rebirth and recognition, all these good things, right? So that's at one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum may be something like getting burned out, too much attention, too much in the spotlight, right? And depending, of course, on the context of the reading, the question, all that stuff. So even within an upright card, there's a full range of meanings. So if you learn those and get comfortable with them, then perhaps reversals are not necessary. And if you try to use reversals and you don't really understand them or you're not comfortable with them, they may confuse you. So you can decide for yourself what you think about using them or not using them. But all that being said, skillfully introducing reversals into your readings can add a lot of depth. It can remove some ambiguity in the answer that the cards are giving you if you're able to integrate them well. So let's talk about how we can do that. But first thing, some practical notes, right? So if we're using reversals, we should be mindful of how we shuffle, right? And if you let someone else shuffle the card, the person you're reading for shuffle, and then they hand them back to you, you got to be aware of which way is up and which way is reversed. So you can practice yourself. It sounds silly, but be aware of how you shuffle. So make sure that you shuffle in a way that the cards are being turned upside down and reversed. Be mindful of how you lay them out, right? How you take them off the deck, because this will influence if they're upright or not. So anyway, I'll leave that to you. Play with it and practice with it, because it's different than reading all upright cards. Okay. So that being said, as far as reversals, I don't believe that a reverse card just means the complete opposite meaning of the card. So for example, the sun upright, let's say joyful, a resounding yes, happiness. So if we turn it upside down, does it mean everything is terrible? Or a big no, or we're having the light of the sun taken away from us? I don't think so. I don't think that it completely changes the meaning of the card. There are more subtle ways that we can integrate the idea of reversals. So let's talk about some of them. So one thing I would say is if a card comes up reversed in a spread, I feel like it's trying to get my attention. So it's like it's saying, look at me, look at me. So sort of pay attention to them, especially if there are a lot of them, because that alone may be telling you something, right? And I think it's often useful to think about reverse cards as being somehow an area where the energy is blocked, So upright, things may be flowing as they should be, but reversed, it may be that something is blocked. So often there's a feeling resistance, blockage, or more often than not, it can be something delayed, you know, something that's coming, but at this time, the timing's not right. Something is delayed, right? So rather than looking at it as a complete reversal of meaning, get the idea that maybe something is, the timing isn't right, or the energy isn't flowing as it should be. Perhaps the person you're reading for, or if it's yourself, is resisting something or not ready for it. So it may have something to do more in that area of things rather than it just being reversed. And the other thing I would mention as well is just take a look literally at the image, how it changes when it's reversed, right? Because that may tell you, that may give you the clue of what the meaning of the card is or what you're looking for. So for example, like we have the Three of Swords upright, right? What might happen if it's turned upside down? Those swords may just fall right out of that card, or out of that heart, I mean, you know, reverse, those swords may just fall away. So what might that mean in a reading? Or here's another one, the Ace of Cups. Look at that beautiful water flowing up and out of that card. What does it mean if it's reversed? Does that change the meaning of it at all? You know, one of my students the other day mentioned the idea of, with the Ace of Cups reversed, it looks like that dove is flying right into the cup, flying up and into the cup, bringing a gift, which I thought was wonderful. So what might that mean? You know, keep that in mind, just the literal image. So, you know, if we're upright like this, we may be suffering. You know, there's heartbreak here, there's pain. But if we reverse it and those swords fall away, it may be that this is something that's fading out of influence, that hurt is is something that you're able to just let go of. But keep in mind too, it could be that you're resisting letting go of it when it's reversed. So this is where it gets complicated and it depends on the context of the reading. But so to keep things, you know, not overwhelming and just kind of short today, I would say if reversals appear, first of all, be mindful of it. They may be trying to get your attention. And also be mindful of the effect that it may have on the person that you're reading for. Because if you do a spread for them and all the cards come out reversed, or the majority of them come out reversed, it has an emotional effect on the person usually. Usually they'll say something like, whoa, that can't be good, right? So you have to address that. You know, how are you going to handle that and reassure them that we're going to explain it and not to have that kind of put up that wall of fear or resistance to it. So keep that in mind. And also look at, as I mentioned before, consider what is going on with that reverse card. So is it a place where energy is blocked? So things that should be flowing naturally and well, they're not. And why is that, right? So that's something to explore. It could be also indicating a delay or a difficulty. So ultimately the outcome is going to arrive, but for some reason the timing is wrong, or there's a delay involved, right? So that could be some way to address what's going on in that card. Or it may be, often, I should have mentioned this before, but it could be something more inner too. So the card upright may be just very clear, the message is outward and clear, but reversed, it may be that it's something more internal or unconscious, or something that the person isn't really aware of. You know, so that may be something to address in it as well. It may be an area where something needs to be adjusted or addressed when it comes up reversed, rather than just a complete reversal of the meaning of the card. So I encourage you to give it a try. Approach it with an open mind, right? So the reversals can have all these different kind of meanings or ways to interpret them. How do we know which one to choose? Well, be open to the meaning of the cards. Be open to your intuitive response, the context, the spread, the question that's being asked. You know, so try to let those reversals flow rather than saying this is the only way I'm going to interpret it, as it means a delay or it means something subconscious, right? So be open to the possibility of more than one meaning, even of all those different kind of reversals that we looked at. So give it a try. And as I say, if they don't work for you, that's okay. A lot of people don't feel the need to use them, or they may use them sometimes and not others. So that's okay. See what works for you. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. As always, I encourage you to visit my website, innergoddesstarot.com, for lots of other tarot resources. And I encourage you to stay tuned because more videos are coming. The beginner series is finished now, but let me know what else would be useful, what you'd be happy to see. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.